freeze dried candy, but I don't understand how you freeze dry something that's meant to be frozen.
Well, we've been on a freeze dried candy kick because Kendall saw like
It's
one of those ads and was like, "Oh, let's try
yeah,
it." And
it's interesting, isn't it?
well, I found out I am absolutely fucking in love with freeze dried oatmeal cream pies. Like, oh my
Huh?
god, they're so good.
Have you actually delved into like freeze dried candy as far as like Skittles, Starburst?
Yeah, the package we got had warheads, gummy
Ooh.
worms, um,
Skittles, marshmallows, peach rings, um,
I
Nerds
like.
monsters,
Mm. My
cheesecake.
favorite are definitely so far the Skittles because you can pop them in your mouth and just kind of let them dissolve and then chew on the shells.
the one that I was like, uh, the mushrooms, the marshmallows was the one that like threw me the most. Only because I tried one and I was like, oh, these are just the marshmallows from Lucky Charms.
Yeah, that's all it is. Same thing with the hot chocolate marshmallows.
Yeah. All right. So if everyone's ready to dive into a little recap, last time there was a foggy, flooded forest, or I say flooded, I mean flooded with fog forest that was not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be an evergreen forest that you guys delved into. Skirted around a kind of mysterious campfire in the distance because it did not feel right, and uh, I'm not going to tell you why, but that was a good idea on y'all's part.
Damn right it was.
uh, and then a couple of the parties started to feel the calls of something dark that drove them into the further into the woods, which led you to an encounter with a couple of odd, ghoulish, zombie-like creatures and a couple of weird chickens that Reyna tried to, go all colonel on. Um, and then after that, we dove into the root systems and came up into this room that is. Let me get to the description because I'm going to go ahead and re-describe a bit. In this chamber, a lot of things catch your attention at once. At a glance, you see a man lying on the floor, seemingly dead, with a large, deep, crimson red crystal embedded into his chest. Beside him, floating and legs crossed, is a woman in a meditative trance. A cluster of vines holds the crystal up, suspending it above the man, preventing it from burrowing deeper. Along the walls are scrawled runic inscriptions of in various languages. They seem to tell the story of brother and sister Freya and Freyr, and their story in mythology and history. Uh, the stone is humming and emits a burning red light. Carved into its sides are inscriptions, and they're cut off in places, making it seem like the stone is shattered or broken. Um, the inside of the chamber is split open to the sky. It is in the center of a great tree. Uh,
Right.
this area seems to be some sort of shrine or you know what's the word I'm looking for, like rest stop through the forest. Um, as we were started to do things, adventure around and try and figure out what was going on, Wolfram grabs the crystal and attempts to remove it. And well, I assume it attempts to remove it, and felt a deep, burning anger like he'd never felt before. Driven so
Well, hold
kindly.
on. Let's not go too. Let's not go. Let's not assume too much.
Oh yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
fair. I mean, fair. I don't know what Wolfram has been through.
But go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
And Driffin kindly helped him with the soles of his shoes to release it. And as
I have
the
never been happier to be drop kicked.
yeah, for real. As the party discussed what to do further, the woman, seeming to kind of gather enough strength to open her eyes and speak to you all, said, "Please, please help me save him. And that is where we are.
All right.
Okay. Hmm.
I will say, Driffin, you recognize the language that is inscribed on the stone, and it is the same language that the thing cried out to its mother in.
Okay.
Deep speech.
Okay. Yeah. I got you. Can I read? What does it say?
It tells a story of betrayal.
What's that story? Okay.
Yeah, it tells a story of betrayal, a story sick and twisted, but very similar and of the same subject matter, the brother and sister, that is inscribed along the walls.
Okay.
All right. I guess let's investigate.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense to me.
All right. Does anybody have anything specific they want to investigate, or can we just start going with rolls?
Find a bag.
So the walls just tell the story of them.
It seems to be this kind of circuitous, like, mass of stories. There's not really a
set there.
cohesive plot line.
Okay.
I'm not sure what to investigate specifically, honestly.
I'll also say the ones that are carved into the walls feel like it's not just from one person. It looks like different handwritings, if you could say so much.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said they're in different languages, right?
Yes.
Okay.
A couple of different. It's like 2 or 3 different languages. The basic common, and then you speak Celestial, right?
Yes.
You recognize some Celestial interspersed throughout.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, Wolfram. You know, the rest of the party has kind of gone back. Wolfram is kind of standing at the edge of the, I guess the clearing, the room, however you want to call it, and he's just kind of pacing back and forth, eyeing the crystal. He doesn't seem to want to get any closer.
I mean, that's a fair reaction to have after what you just, because that thing showed you some horrific shit, like shit that you would never wish to see, even as a soldier on the battlefield, you know.
I want to read what's on the walls.
Read what's on the walls.
Try to read some of it at least, like the celestial stuff, and I want to see if there's anything that needs to be said. Or anything that's going to help us figure anything out.
Nothing super specific, but reading the Celestial, you can kind of make out that, like, something of this nature is not really supposed to happen. You can gather that from the stories. Like, if these truly are gods or demigods or, you know, whatever, it specifically, you know, it paraphrases, but there are several scripts saying that, like, something like this shouldn't be able to happen. This great evil shouldn't be able to overcome such good, especially if it's 2 together, you know?
Okay.
I think Griffin's just specifically going to investigate the floating woman.
How so? Because she has opened her eyes and spoken to you as a group psychically.
I'm not entirely sure exactly how to go about it. I'm just gonna, I guess, kind of observe to maybe try and find out what's causing her status, or stasis, I guess is the word.
Yeah, I would say that would be, I think, I don't know. It's either
Arcana or religion.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. It's either gonna be Arcana or religion. So, I'll let you choose how you want to apply that.
I don't have a bonus to Arcana, but I do have a bonus to Religion, ironically.
There you
And it
go.
literally is ironically because Driffin is atheist.
Well, you got to know what you don't agree with.
Exactly. That was my take on it.
Atheists in D&D are very interesting because it's a world where you know that the gods and demons and stuff exist. You just choose
Yeah.
not to assign special meaning to it, which I think
Yeah,
is
you
kind of a cool
definitely
take.
they
They
don't worship
definitely
them.
exist. They're
Yeah.
just not worth worshiping.
Making sure I got my D20 on hand here. Okay, yeah, that's it.
I don't have any dice today, so
That's fine.
I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna roll.
I was gonna say I can.
Uh,
I have a fistful of dice here if you're comfortable with that.
I will find a way to roll. I don't like having other people roll for me. It just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like I'm playing the game if I'm not the one rolling.
Yeah.
If
It's
you
also
have access
your
to
luck.
your phone, you could use
Yes.
D&D Beyond and roll on your character sheet.
Mhm.
That's honestly what I've been doing.
But if we go with Religion, I rolled a 14 plus 2 would be 16.
Okay, that's pretty good. You think that probably what's happening is that she, being, you can't say who she is, but she's definitely some sort of being of nature. You know, some being that has power over nature, and she's probably putting a lot of her power into preventing this thing from eradicating him by holding it up with the vines.
Okay.
Wolfram has put 2 and 2 together, and it definitely believes that this is Freya and Frey.
I would like to investigate the crystal.
Okay.
I will drop kick you.
I would like to investigate it and find out if there's a way to help her get it out.
Wolfram, seeing you approach it, very quickly steps forward and says, "Do not touch it."
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead? Let me, because again, this is one of those things where depending on the answer you're looking for, it could change. It could be investigation, history, religion, or arcana. You know.
Okay.
So.
I want to investigate it to see how the vines are holding it, essentially. Like, if there's a way to get it out.
That sounds like some sort of a magical thing.
So I'll give you this without a roll. It seems like it's you can openly see that it is pushing down into the vines, and the vines are pushing back up.
Okay, so
If
they're
you-
coming under it.
Yeah.
You
they're
can
like-
investigate tension. You can see tension.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. That's one thing I wanted to know, like if it was wrapped around it, holding it, or if it was like pushing up on it. Okay. And I can't.
By the way,
Go ahead.
I'm not. I have an idea. It's not necessarily something that Wolfram would think of to try or want to try, but it did occur to me from last time after we played. My plan was to just kind of like let you guys like figure out what we can figure out, and then I'll suggest it if nobody else has any ideas.
Because I'll say I definitely have. I'll give a hint in this way. I have an idea of how I wanted this to go, and there are multiple ways to solve it. But you guys are on the right track right now. I think that doesn't give away too much.
Does anybody want to try anything?
I genuinely have no idea how to go about it.
We've already touched the crystal. Nobody's touched Freya. Nobody's touched the vines. Nobody's actively tried to speak to either of them. I mean,
Are
we
we-
can assume Freya is dead, but I mean, the attempt could still be made.
Are we
You could
within
do a medicine check.
Are we within reach of the vines? Can we like grab the vines and try to like help push it up?
You could. The stone itself is probably slightly larger than football size, and it's a little jagged. And you've seen what happens when you touch it. But the vines are literally just like up. They come up from around his body and are cupping the underside of the stone. And like Raina saw, you can see tension pushing up. So, excuse me.
Is there a way to roll like a group strength check so we can all pull out on the off chance that it is a high check?
Since I don't have a lot of strength, would I be able to hold on to her and try to like help channel her a little bit? Like help her channel her magic as they are pulling?
That's the thing you can try, yeah. Was someone going to mention something else as well? I thought I heard
Wolfram is not in favor of touching it. He made contact with this thing before, and he seems very, very against anyone else making contact with it.
There is also the obvious thing that's probably the bad way to do this, and that's cutting the vines.
I wouldn't cut the vines.
It would appear to me that the vines are the only thing holding it back.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like the right solution.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not saying to do that. I'm just stating that it's an option that's probably not the way we should go.
So,
I will also say, I don't know if we could cut the vine. If it's strong enough to hold up this crystal, we might not be able to cut it.
That's true as well.
Because I didn't ask for it already, can I get just a general... everybody make just like a general investigation check?
Can I say that Wolfram's attention is too absorbed by the crystal?
Yeah, that definitely, yeah. It was a scarring experience.
So, hold on. What my investigation is +2. I rolled a 16 +2.
Okay. So that's an 18 total?
Yep.
By the way, you guys, when I said my strength is not good, I mean I have a -1 to strength.
Ooh.
So.
Yeah.
It is okay, sister. I will support you.
Thank you.
So, Driffin, it occurs to you that, you've seen, before being out living in the areas that are on the outskirts of society where people are mining and, doing all that hard labor that, maybe you could break it by hitting it hard enough? That occurs to you?
Ah.
I got a 9. What does Mortimer think?
Mortimer sees hammer and a crystal.
Mortimer thinks that, maybe if you got enough leverage on it, you could wedge it out.
Let's see. I do have a hammer, an actual hammer, a 3-pound hammer. And if I handed that off, well, I mean, there's a good chance that everybody has a hammer.
Wait, I have a miner's pick.
Oh.
I'm an archaeologist.
Oh. I say we give all that to our highest strength in here.
Uh-huh.
And he goes Hulk smash on it.
But would Wolfram be comfortable with that?
I wouldn't be touching it.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't be making direct contact on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a very low chance. There's a very low chance that you would become affected by it. Worst that could happen, I assume, is that you don't break it.
I think if you're mentioning this to Wolfram will kind of listen quietly, and his eyes will kind of shift to the bow that is in the woman's lap.
Mm-hmm. There is also that, but I don't know if there will be enough force.
She's got a longbow. It looks to be maybe 9-10 feet long. It's huge, but they're both as huge. It looks like it would be appropriately sized for her across her lap, and it is kind of half made with ebony wood that circles into ivory wood.
so not something any of us could feasibly lift and use.
Except for Wolfram.
Yeah?
Possibly together.
I'll
So
pull the string.
It doesn't have a string.
Yeah.
It's not stringed.
I'm just kidding.
an idea occurred.
Okay.
Remember when we were fighting those Groots and my hammer filled with the
The vibration
vibrating
stuff.
moss? Sonic Boom
Yeah.
Hammer rock.
That
What
could
do we-
work.
Work. Just bear with me for a second. Pointing out that it doesn't have a string, Wolfram starts to take a rope out of his pack.
Is
He then
Wolfram...
he then takes a javelin and sets it on it to see if it's the right length. It fits perfectly. Wolfram starts to try to string this bow. I assume this is a strength check.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Give me a second because I gotta figure out what it would be because I honestly didn't think that this would be a thing.
Honestly, I thought that this is the intended method. I'll be honest.
It's an interesting method, I'll say that. Stringing the bow with a rope and then firing a javelin directly at the crystal. That would be interesting.
Damn, I can't get it to roll. I assume this is pure strength. There's no way I could get athletic from this, right?
No, I don't think so.
Nah, I think
Yeah,
it's-
that makes sense. Okay.
You could argue dexterity, but yeah.
No. This is stringing a bow.
Yeah.
There's no way. This
Well, I
is
mean,
finesse. This is me grabbing it and trying to force it.
Okay.
Sorry it's taking me so long. I really wish I had brought my dice.
No, you're good. I'm just trying to figure out why it didn't.
That
It
is
didn't
a
work last
14.
time.
A 14.
Yeah.
You get a good grip on it, and you get a little bit of a flex, but more, like by the time that you realize you're like exerting all of your shit and sweating, and it's flexed maybe a quarter of an inch.
Wolfram takes it off of her lap and puts it on the ground and then steps on it. To do like the full whole body one.
Yeah.
Can I try again, or do I need to make like a constitution or something to see if it exhausts me?
I think after this one, but since you are doing it with all that leverage, I think you get advantage on this one.
Yeah, that's a definite. Well, it would be advantageous over the first attempt, definitely. I believe, just because you're doing something with more leverage.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it.
Okay. Advantage, you said?
Yeah.
That's a 5 with advantage.
Oof.
That is 14 plus 2, 16.
Oh,
16.
thank God.
So you just managed to get this thing strung with your rope, your hempen rope.
Oh, Wolfram looks really tired.
Mortimer
Yeah,
walks pats him on the back.
This isn't going to be terribly hard, but because this is a god bow, I will ask for a con save on this one.
Oh, okay. Con right now. Con save. My save is pretty high, I think.
Yeah.
My save is plus 5, so that is 21.
Okay. Yeah. You can tell you've strained yourself a little bit, but you're fine. You know.
Wolfram holds it up, and it's like, so should we try shooting it?
Molimer kind of looks like, what's the word I'm looking for? not shocked, but like, wow, like, impressed. She looks highly impressed with that action and says, well, I can't really think of anything else to do, so.
Drayton? Brother?
Why not? Smash. Smash with the javelin. Go ahead.
Okay, so I put the javelin in, and I asked Drayton to shoot the bow. Like, I'm holding it at the front.
Oh, you're
holding it
asking
in place.
actually fire
Yeah,
it.
I'm asking you to aim.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely aim.
Okay.
Amen.
So,
Fire!
just for clarity, who was actually pulling the string back on this one?
Not me. I'm holding it in place.
Cool.
Basically to, like, try to give him some sort of advantage, but it is taking both of us.
Yeah.
So you intend on me actually pulling back and firing?
Yeah, basically I'm
Okay.
giving you the power to aim, to steer me, to
Okay.
like use me to aim.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I would say go ahead and make this roll. I think a flat on this one because I was going to disimpose. I was going to impose disadvantage if you hadn't had somebody help you. So
Perfect.
So flat roll is if you were rolling with a bow, a long bow.
So act like. What would that be?
You get a +4 to that.
Okay.
Does he? No, he didn't take archery. Never mind.
9 plus 4. 13.
13. So go ahead and. So here's what happens. No, actually, roll damage. Sorry.
Roll damage now?
Yes.
Is it double damage because it's a huge bow? Just out of curiosity.
It is double damage, but not because it's a huge bow.
Okay.
Oh, so a D8 plus 2?
Yes.
3 plus 2, 5.
So we're gonna. It's 8. Okay, so here's what happens. You release this javelin, and as the javelin, flies out of your hand, it feels like it pulls something with it, and Driffin, one of your spell slots, your level 1 spell slots, has been used.
Oh.
I don't know that you know how to quantify that, but you can tell that it pulled something more than it was you intended for it to pull.
Okay.
And, the javelin slams into this crystal and bounces off, and the crystal. Hold on, Kendall. It makes a mighty crack, and a good, the top third in a diagonal pattern kind of falls away, and the light fades away from it. You can tell that definitely did some really good damage to it.
I kind of just want to say I like the idea that Driffin's standing behind me, like up on a rock to aim, and he's using Wolfram's shoulder as a guide.
Yeah.
Kind of a bipod, tripod type thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Wolfram's just like straining against it, pushing in the opposite direction. Do not worry, I have 3 more.
Now that a chunk kind of came off, how are the vines doing? Are they still struggling to hold this thing up, or is there kind of less tension in the vines?
So I'm glad
That's a
you
really
reminded.
good question.
I'm glad you reminded me. That energy, that spell that was pulled away from you, Driffin, you feel it. You can kind of feel the flow, and you're not 100% certain, but to your best knowledge, you think that magical energy was pulled from you into the vines.
Can I identify what that magic was? Or I genuinely have no idea what it was.
So
Fucking primal.
yeah, as the school of magic, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I'll have to look into it, but
Okay.
it was a very primal, like it didn't feel super focused or anything. It felt more like if I can describe it, I would think that it would the feeling of feeling good after a workout is how the magic feels.
Oh.
If I may, 5e has this. It doesn't really describe how magic like detection works very well, but other like TRPGs do a little bit better job of explaining it. So there's the schools of magic, and then beyond that, separate but connected, are the types of magic: arcane, primal, occult, and arcane, primal, occult, and divine. That's it, divine.
So I really like applying that system to it, which we will definitely be looking into in the future because yeah. But using that system, primal, definitely primal, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
Honestly, I just like that system. I like to have that system better because there's so many things that are technically magical that are not spells in D&D.
Yeah, well, also there's dumb shit like the fact that healing spells are necromantic. Like,
well, I mean, it makes sense because it does affect life, but like
Yeah.
at the same time, it's really weird.
yeah. All right, so with that being said, you think you did you did a good job dealing the damage to it. Mortimer had something, right? Or did you all already address that?
I think Mortimer can go ahead first.
Yeah.
What? Oh, okay. So I kind of popped the lid off my my hammer, and there's like a little blue light, and you can kind of see like the air warbling from the sound. And he just kind of looks over at Wolfram and Molimer, and then looks at the rock and looks back at them a couple times, like without saying anything. You kind of get that he's asking.
That's a interesting idea.
With the lid off, you can definitely tell a difference in the sound. It's not crazy, but like, you know, the sound is less muffled.
It's humming.
Weird idea. What if we combined all of our power together by connecting the barrel to the end of the arrow, like a fucking Hawkeye, and then shooting it at him with this giant bow?
Oh my god.
God, I fucking
If
love
I
it.
lose my mushrooms because of this, I'm gonna be pissed. But let's try it.
I am so down.
You can have kept the mushrooms in a separate place if you wish. I don't think that's that big a deal.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna take the mushrooms out and just have the moss in there. The boom boom moss.
Cool.
Definitely going to be interesting.
I would like to take at least like a third out in case it doesn't work. We still have some left.
Yeah, that sounds good. So I think that puts you at about like half of a small barrel full.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what I ask who I ask to do what to tie a barrel to a javelin and fire it into an evil rock.
Maybe some sort of like crafting sort of check from like Mortimer.
Yeah.
Possibly. Shit. What would be a good crafting check? Maybe an intelligence, something.
Performance? No. Sleight of hand?
Molimer
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, a lot of times tying a knot can be an intelligence sleight of hand.
Yeah.
What kind of skills do you have?
Let me check that. Deception, insight, perception, persuasion. Sleight of hand is +4.
Okay. What is your intelligence?
That's a good question.
I mean, you could just make a sleight of hand reasonably.
Yeah, I feel like a sleight of hand is a good indicator.
Yeah.
My intelligence is +1. It's 13.
Okay.
So we want to do.
I mean,
sleight of hand, just for the +4.
I mean, like if you're tying it on there, I think that maybe that would reasonably work. It'd be up to the DM, but that's my best guess.
Yeah, that feels good to me. Is a sleight of hand.
Okay, and I don't think we've ever mentioned this, but he was a pirate in his backstory, so he has some.
Yeah, he's probably got some not tying intelligence.
Oh yeah.
All right, 17 + 4. We got a 21.
Holy shit. Okay. So you have like
got
a
That's on there.
yeah. There's like a cork hole in the side, and you pop the cork out and slam the javelin in, and it's like it's like a dowel rod that fits just so perfect in that cork hole. And it doesn't take much to get a good secure tie on this thing. You just like loop the rope around it once and give it a little knot, and it's fucking rock steady.
Slap it until they say it's not going anywhere.
So Mortimer just kind of gestures it out to Driffin and Wolfram, and he's like, and people say that old men can't do anything.
Whoever's my favorite.
Wolfram shoulders the barrel on his on his shoulder, and like sets it again, sets himself against the bow and just kind of like gives it to Driffin to steer him.
Yep. And here we go again.
Wait. Before it goes, I would like to go and hold on to what's her name? Freya?
Yeah.
I want to go hold on to her and try to give her, like, try to help channel more magic into the vines.
Okay. Okay. What do your spell slots look like?
I've got 2 spell slots left.
2 spell slots left?
Yeah.
What levels?
First.
First?
They'd be first.
Yeah. Yeah, you're level 2. I don't... So, if you tell them to hold up, and you, I'm assuming, walk over and put your hand on her.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put your hand on her, you feel coziness. You are immediately feel the comfort of sitting on your front porch in the rain in the summer when, the temperature's just right to have the rain cool it off, and, you have a tea keeping you warm, and, that feeling of just comfort overwhelms you. And then the second thing that you feel is a dire call for help, a need, and emptiness, because, well, I'm going to say if you want to figure out why, roll an Arcana. You don't have to, but,
I'll take it. It accidentally rolled me a 19, and I got a 3 to Arcana.
Okay.
So.
She is pouring every fucking ounce of her power. She's got a 9-volt battery worth of power left, and she is desperately trying not to let it slip away, and, she's really fighting this thing. So, okay. I think what you can do, this is pretty simple, is you can spend a spell slot, and what that's going to do is give them advantage.
Okay.
So you can make your attack roll with advantage because the vines are holding this thing steady. The humming that's coming from it has kind of died a little bit as a piece has shattered off, and the vines have grown up it a little bit. You can tell that you're making good ground here.
All right. Let me know if you need me to roll again to, like, hold the bow in place good or something.
Yeah.
Or if it's just something I can do.
If you want, I can roll for like a morale boosting check because I'm just kind of sitting on the side with Molly eating popcorn right now.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
I think a con check would be reasonable for this. Or, well...
Well, I'm not holding it actively the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm holding it really rock steady when he's pulling back on it.
You have what is your strength score?
I don't want to get too metagamey. Are you sure? It's
Well,
like I can tell you, but I have been a little avoidant of being too obvious with my scores because of metagaming.
yeah, that's perfectly fine.
You could tell him in a DM or
Yeah, I
what.
can message you.
Well,
Yeah.
I honestly I do think that this is something that you could just do.
Okay. I mean, essentially, I'm trying to think of like the help action.
Yeah.
Um, but like if we're yeah, I don't know, but okay.
All right. So roll with advantage to the hit or to the damage.
To the hit.
Advantage is an attack roll thing. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
you only get advantage on things that are attack or not attack roll. Sorry, anything that is a
So
d20.
when you roll advantage, you roll twice and pick,
Yes.
or you roll twice and take the second.
You roll
You can
twice
roll twice and
and
take the higher.
yes.
Well, I mean, there's no reason for me to roll twice.
You can roll again if you can roll or not roll. It's up to you.
I mean, there's
I
no
can't save it.
reason because I did roll a nat 20.
Hey, good enough for me.
Fuck yeah.
So this thing is not. There's nowhere that this thing is going. And then roll
All right,
damage.
let's do it.
Yeah, so yeah, what happens is okay.
So do I need to roll damage, or are we just foregoing that?
No, go ahead and roll 2d8 plus
Okay.
2.
So +2 to each 8, or +2 to the total?
Plus 2 total.
Okay, so that's a 5 and a 5, so 12.
Um so this thing slams into and it almost happens in slow motion. Um
Wolfram's shoulder is going numb from the sound coming off of this thing, but then it comes off.
Yeah, it this thing is humming, vibrating. It feels I mean it feels like a bomb about to blow. That's the tension. And almost in it feels like time breaks down into slow motion and the barrel slams into this crystal and how do I say a great like there's a pop sound and then the sound of 1,000 glass shards hitting the floor as this thing is just fucking vaporized. Like it worked and well.
Do you remember that scene from Finding Nemo when the bomb falls on top of the mine and it kind of just goes like tink?
I mean yeah, like that's the vibe we're getting off of this.
Boomy.
And as that happens, Reyna, make sure you mark you used one of your spell slots for that.
Yeah, I already did.
Reyna, you feel like white hot radiance flood back into this woman as you have to pull your hand away. I mean, if you want, you can try to keep it on there, but you know, it's like touching a hot pan that you didn't realize was hot. So for a second you're fine, then you're like, ah, shit, you know.
Yeah.
Could I ask a question?
Yes.
So we've completely destroyed this crystal now.
I mean, there's pieces of it, but it is no longer humming or
so
irradiating red light.
The magic from it has completely faded. There's nothing that this thing can do anymore whatsoever. Or if one were to, say, gather those pieces, they could make something out of it?
One of the shards comes flying off and embeds into Wolfram's chest. Anyway.
Well, honestly, I thought about it, but also the way that I think this breaks down is I think it's like when I said vaporized, it's turned into sand.
It's nothing
I
but
was
dust.
literally just gonna
Okay.
say it's
Yeah.
sand or
Okay.
pixie dust.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like
All right.
you might be able to get a pebble sized, but that's probably
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
it's not worth it then. I was merely asking if maybe I could use some of the shards, if there were any, to craft something interesting. But
What happened? What happened to that 1/3 piece that fell off?
yeah, we did. There was a chunk that got destroyed first. I don't know. Did it
Yes.
vaporize?
It
It
is
Yeah, did that get embedded in Wolfram's chest?
no, it is lying on the ground. No red light. It seems to be just almost a chunk of quartz, is what you would common quartz.
Okay. Yeah. If it's just quartz, there's no reason for me to grab it.
That doesn't mean I won't.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was genuinely, so what I was asking was if there was any magic flowing through it still, enough to maybe make a magic item of sorts, but not enough to where if someone touched it, it did what it did to Wolfram.
Oh, if there was any power left in it at all, it would do that because it is.
Okay, so it's not a measure of how much power, it's the fact that if there is power, it's going to do that.
Yeah.
It's the nature of the thing, not the amount of the thing.
Okay.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah. Because I'll be. I'm taking some inspiration from another thing, and this is a piece
Okay.
of something that is the size of like worlds. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Raina, you pull your hand away. You are, it feels like you touched a hot pan. With the breaking, there is a flash of this red light. It becomes kind of overwhelming, but it's only a flash. And after the flash passes, everybody blinks their eyes out. Oh God. The vines that were holding it up are now flooding to the wound to patch the wound in this man's chest.
Okay.
And you see some of the color return to his face, but there is a mechanic I need to do.
Oh no.
Okay, so the woman comes down from her meditative state. She is standing and she looks upon you all. She's maybe 13, 14 feet tall.
Jeez.
She's tall. She's huge, and so
Yeah.
is the man. And she reaches her hand down and pulls him to his feet as he's opening his eyes and looks around. He is still horribly pale. She has this like nice golden olive tan. It looks like she's been out. She looks like sun withered, like she spends a lot of time outside. Also, one thing that you notice is as this thing breaks, a lot of life is starting to come back into the area around you, whereas it was swampy and charred. This tree seems to be gaining, this like tree room that you're in seems to be gaining some of its life back as the wood goes from this spongy, dark, moldy, black, rotting wood, and it begins to feed into the lush browns and greens of nature. It's slow. As the woman stands and pulls her, well, there's no denying it at this point. It's Freya and Freya. Pulls her brother to his feet. She holds her hand out and says, "Thank you, but I'll be taking that back now."
Wolfram wants to go.
She carefully pulls the string off and hands the rope back to you, and she says, I won't be needing that. That was very ingenuitive. I appreciate it. The effort given forth there.
Thank you.
She looks at Driffin specifically and says, "And thank you for your steady aim, but well, I'm going to leave it at that for now. And she turns, consults her brother, who is, kind of leaning against her outstretched arm that she had behind her, and she, puts a hand on his chest, holds him up, whispers in his ear, talks to him, and you can see him, I'm fine, as he holds a hand out, and a knurled, knotted, like, staff forms itself from the floor of this room, and he leans heavily on it, almost like a crutch. It's got like a handle down the side, sticking out perpendicular to the shaft of the staff. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me. I mean, I was pretty much dead there. As you could see. Wow, bunch of mortals, huh?
Yeah, Wolfram bows his head, but he doesn't do like a full bow or kneel. He only bows his head, just slight cock, like a sign of respect, but not like, you know.
He seems impressed with you. Well, not impressed. Plussed. Plussed? Is that the right way to say it?
I'm not sure.
You can tell he likes that gesture. He limps forward on his staff a bit, and his sister tries to, prevent him from walking for his own good, and he bats her hand away again and says, I'm fine. She fusses at him, and he waves a hand, and from the floor a chair of wood forms itself. All along the walls, the twiglings that you fought in the room before this one begin to emerge and come to rest at his feet in a kneeling stance, but in a protective stance as well. And he says to you all, again, I can't thank you enough, but this is just the beginning of something much, much worse. There's a darkness on this world, and I appreciate your efforts. And as he's talking, she puts her hand over his mouth, like very forcefully, like, no, stop, and she whispers in his ear again, which, if anybody wants to hear it, they can try to make a perception, but
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, we're talking about gods here. I'm gonna eavesdrop.
I've got a +4 to perception. Let's go.
The older you are, the bigger your ears are. Let's see what I get.
18.
And I know Celestial.
13.
Come at me, bro.
Ah,
I refuse
9
to
plus
get
4,
closer, so
13.
I got an 18.
Oof.
So, Mortimer, you hear some fucking wild, strange. You don't speak Celestial, right?
I could for the right price. No, I don't.
So you hear this like wild, unfathomable language that somehow feels comfortable, but you can't understand it.
Oh my god, does it sound like scat?
Oh my god, I want so badly for the memes to say that Celestial is scatting in my world, but I can't.
No.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
It's Asgardian, it's fine.
Yeah, it sounds like fucking Welsh or something. You can hear what she's saying, but you can't understand it for shit.
Is this something that I hear and I may be able to try to replicate to someone who could understand the language?
Well, I think someone who could understand it also rolled to be able to actually hear it.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say, Raina did roll the same thing as you, so.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I'm dying.
Please don't die.
You are gonna
Not
learn how to
today.
speak Celestial. So what you hear is she says, no, the more what you catch is, she's coming off of a sentence. No, they can't. The more that is known, the more power it has. You can't tell them. There's nothing they could do anyways. They're just mortals. They barely figured out how to save you, and how they did, they just used some of your own magic, some of the growth that barely survived. Like, you can't. This is. We have to deal with this on our ground. There's nothing they can do. And as she finishes whispering that in his ear, he pats her on her shoulder and says in common, I know what I'm doing. I can take care of myself. And she says to him in common, clearly you can't. And, they just give each other a stern look, and he gives the cut it out gesture, and says, not right now. Not in front of them. They are being very dismissive of you guys. Like, it's clear that
We're literally mortals among God. I don't think any of us are surprised.
Yeah.
I would like to, kind of come at her and be like, us mortals just saved your brother.
She looks at you like you just gave her a wedgie. Like, she's like, what the fuck? She does not
This
expect
rat
you...
can talk?
Yeah.
Yes, I can understand you guys. I speak Celestial. And I'd love to say that in Celestial.
Yeah.
Like, show this bitch something.
So with that, she says, enough. She grabs her brother's shoulder, stands him up, and pulls the bow that doesn't have a string on it, mind you. Acts as if she is drawing back the bowstring and releases. And when she releases, they are both pulled into this kind of swirling mist and fired by the bow. And the bow turns into that mist fired along with it.
Okay.
That was
She's
interesting.
not pointing it at her, though.
No, she is pointed it off into the distance, into the sky, basically.
Did they just Bifrost?
I mean, pretty much. I mean, that's the best, But for now, as however long you guys decide to stay here, the longer you stay here, the more you can see the growth slowly coming back and returning itself to the lush evergreen forest that it once was.
Okay.
Is there anything else interesting in the room that might warrant investigating?
It seems to be a shrine room. You think maybe amongst the ruin you could find old shrine offerings, maybe some scrolls and stuff like that, but that's probably about it.
Alright. I'm down to move on with the party whenever.
Yeah, I'm a rigmarole.
Cool.
Yeah. I think Wolfram is in favor of getting out of this area and getting back to what he knows. It is obviously less menacing than it was before, but he's still like, this is not where we're supposed to be.
Poor
Yeah,
traumatized man.
I'll say also, there's like 40 of the tree guard that you fought in the other room that are just kind of like staring at you guys. They have made a path for you so you can leave, but they are very clearly like, alright.
Goodbye.
Wolfram is at all times, once he's noticed them, he is standing with his sword out between them and the party. Slightly menacingly. Not overtly, but like slightly.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna fuck with you, but if you fuck with me, I will fuck with you.
Yeah.
I will fuck right back.
So you guys can go leave out. There is an opening that is made for you through the back entrance, and it clears out into the what you know as the forest that's supposed to be here. Not fully, but it is very clearly recovering. The fog has all but lifted. The hellscape is gone, and the life is coming back to this forest. The only thing left is to. You're not really sure because you aren't 100% where you are in the forest right now, which can be figured out. But the only thing from here is to continue forward onwards to the tower. That is the original goal.
Sounds good to me.
Let's keep
So-
going.
Need any sort of survival or anything?
I was going to ask for survival.
Hell yeah. Let me roll you one. That's a 9.
Oof.
Wolfram doesn't have his bearings. He doesn't know this place very well.
17.
Your 9 is better than my 5.
I also rolled total of 17.
So I think what happens is Wolfram and Mortimer are a little overwhelmed by what just happened. Like, they're still kind of on edge, and they're like, I guess we could go this way. And Reyna just so happens to notice like not a star chart. What is the word for the thing? The shapes.
Constellation?
Constellation. Notices a constellation that will point you, kind of allow you to figure yourself out at the same time that, like, you notice it. You're just like, I think that's... And then at the same time, Griffin has his, like, field notebook out and is like, yes, that is the Ursa Minor, And you guys can figure yourselves out and get straightened out in the direction that you are supposed to be headed.
Cool.
Walk the
Wolfram,
path
makes-
of the little bear.
Do what?
go ahead.
Ursa Minor would be Little Bear.
Yeah.
This makes sense to me because Wolfram's ability to like know where he's at mostly comes from experience. Like, he knows the wilderness. He knows like not mile markers, but like
Landmarks?
He knows, yeah, landmarks, miles, stuff like that. He knows that, but he's not in a familiar place, and he doesn't have great proficiency with like reading stars.
Wolfram, I'm assuming you want to do your feature thing of like acquiring rations along the way.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because that's just like a free thing that you get, right? Like, that's just a part of
I'm
your
fairly certain. Let me double check. You can always remember the layout of a regional's geographical features and can usually find enough food for 6 people. So yeah, it's just
y'all are a party of 5. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't. Yeah, so that sounds good. Triangulating yourselves, you think you have a couple of days more travel before you hit a flat open land that is only a few miles out from the tower that you need to get to.
let me remove one of the javelins from my inventory.
Also, since it's a couple of days, you guys can take hit your long rest buttons whenever you like. That means you get your spell slots back, Driffin.
Sweet.
Also, since we are at a good point for a rest, I'm going to take a bathroom break real quick.
Sounds good to me. Wolfram will have a we'll sit down next to Rain. Kind of look contemplative for a moment before saying, "Sister, you are very brave, but the gods are very fickle. Please be careful."
Yes, I will. I just don't like being treated like we don't know anything.
This was not honorable of her, but
Welcome
she is
to
very
Derek.
powerful.
Yeah, she is. I could feel it. It hurt to touch her.
It's... The gods have cursed the lives of men many times. Please do not become one of them.
Oh, no. No, thank you.
The curse, not a god, but anything. All right. Yeah, he'll just kind of say that and then get up and eat some roasted rabbit and kind of go on his rounds around the campsite.
I like it.
Good.
Alright, I am back. I don't know if anybody else left for a restroom break, so.
Not that I've heard.
Okay, cool.
I'm here.
So, the first night comes. You guys travel for, the rest of that day. It seems to be probably about 4 or 5 in the afternoon when you clear out. And you can travel for the rest of the day without problem. When you decide to set up camp, who is going to take watches?
What order were we using before? Was it Wolfram's on the first watch or the last watch? I don't remember.
Last watch, I was the first watch. Because technically I just go into that trance.
Yeah, you trance for 4 hours.
Then do you want to just say that we have like a set order that we typically go in?
Yeah, that's fine with
Fine
me.
by me.
Okay, then I'll take last watch.
Cool.
Griffin School was taking second or third. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'll take first so I can go to bed sooner. And I won't have to wake up.
Cool.
Or was Reyna already taking first?
I typically
Yeah,
take
Reyna.
the first because I only need 4 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you go ahead. I'll take second.
All right, then I'll take third.
Um,
I like if we do it this way, we can have a little bit of overlap, so we don't have to hang out by ourselves
Yeah.
the whole time.
which brings me to, so it's going to be Reyna, Mortimer, Driffin, Wolfram?
Yes.
Cool. So, Reyna, Mortimer, is there any interaction that you would like to have on the passing off?
Yeah, so Mortimer kind of drops his little barrel down next to you so you can sit on top of it. And he just kind of leans over with his little old man face and he's just like, "So, how is it going? It's been pretty stressful lately."
I love Mortimer so much. It has been really stressful. How are you and
Molimer?
Molimer? I was like, her name just left me. How are you and Molimer holding up?
He just kind of pulls a mushroom out of his pocket and starts looking at it. And he's like, I think we're doing pretty good. She seems to be very charismatic in these times, even though it's been hard. And she's very supportive of the whole group. And I've been doing fine.
And,
My brain still works, if you can tell with that arrow back there.
And as you say that, you can hear Molimer kind of plucking at a lyre a little bit as she gets ready to turn in for the night in the background.
She's so stinking cute. They're both just adorable. I love them.
Alright. So if you're taking the first watch, you only need 4 hours, so you'll probably, if you have overlaps. Okay, yeah. So we can move on to the next watch, which would be Mortimer. Mortimer, can you make a perception check for me?
I got a 10.
10?
Yeah.
Okay.
What am I adding to it?
That would be your wisdom mod.
Wisdom.
And then if you have proficiency, you, +2.
Alright, so that would be... We got an 11. Because it's just +1.
Cool. I mean, nothing stands out. You hear the it was still kind of light as Reyna's was ending. It's just now getting into the middle point of the night as your watch is ending. You hear the sounds of night insects and owls and some of the nocturnal predators kind of walking around. Nothing major, like foxes and stuff like that.
Do you have proficiency in this? I know you said that you were a pirate in your background, and pirates or sailors have proficiency with perception, so I think you're supposed to be adding your proficiency bonus. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, you're good. I don't know.
The little black dot on your skills list should be filled out, I believe.
In perception, yes, that's +3. So that would
Okay.
be 14. My bad. I'm not
No. It was
necessarily
10 plus
deep
3.
down.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help. I don't mean to slow things down. I just want to make sure you're getting everything out of your stuff.
No, you're good. Would that be the 10 plus 3, and then were we also adding?
Well, if it's bubbled
No.
in on your sheet, it's already accounted for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So really, you can just click the skill that you want to roll, I think.
Yeah, because
Oh,
you're on D&D
I'm still
Beyond,
learning.
right?
Yeah, I'm still learning the interface.
So you
It's
see
all
how
good.
you have your skills and it has the little box that says bonus? You can just
Yeah.
click that box and it rolls a d20 with your score and adds it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I never do that. I like that.
Okay, yeah, you notice nothing special, and we can drift into the in-between of Driffin and Mortimer if y'all wish to have any certain interaction.
I can't think of anything, but I'm sure Mortimer might be able to.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So he doesn't sit next to you. He's kind of like getting ready for bed. And as he is, he just kind of looks over and he goes, "How have you been feeling lately?"
Well, we've dealt with zombies, centipedes, cockatrices, zombie cockatrice to be specific, and now gods. I'm not sure exactly how to feel, but let's just say this is getting interesting.
I'm glad that you're interested. For me, it's just another Tuesday.
All right, old man.
um, with that done, Driffin, why don't you give me a perception check?
Oh, that's a terrible roll. Oof. 3 plus 4, 7.
The night seems kind of quiet, not in any way that's unusual or anything, but nothing really sticks out.
Okay.
And by the way, when I'm saying we can do the in between interaction, it's you don't have to do anything. I just
Yeah.
wanted to give you guys the opportunity to.
We'll add a little bit of flavor to it.
Yeah. And speaking of the
Oh.
next transition, we can go ahead and move on into that.
All right. I'm filling up my water. Just a sec. Yeah, Wolfram will get up at the beginning of his watch. He'll stoke the campfire a little and eat some leftovers from the night before. We'll sit down next to Driffin, or maybe across from Driffin.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Wolfram is quiet for a very long time. Just kind of
Yeah.
has a distant look in his eyes. And then we'll make like very intense eye contact with you. And we'll say, Drufin.
Say what?
He will say, Drufin.
Yeah.
If I lose control, you must protect.
In the most respectful way to say this to you, Wolfram, I won't hesitate.
Thank you. And yeah, that's all he says. He'll get up and go and check the snares from the night before, and come back before you go to bed. That's all. That's all you. That's all he says to you the entire.
Yeah, I
The
feel like
entire
the whole
crossover.
dynamic between both of them is mostly just like a very silent respect for one another
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean,
most part.
pretty much. Pretty much.
So, Wolfram, can you make a perception check for me?
All right. That's a 9.
That's okay. The timing and placement of this required a very low check. So, as you're out checking your snares, what?
I'm waiting for something to happen.
As you're out checking your snares, you kind of get out to about the furthest edge of where you'd laid your traps, and as you're clearing and cleaning the trap, you start to stand up, and there's two barely a foot tall, kind of elven looking figures that are chittering. And as you stand there and look at them, a third one steps out from behind a tree, and they
They're
kind of motion at you.
elven? They're elven looking?
Yes, they look elvish.
Okay. They're very small though?
Yes, they're barely a foot tall.
Oh.
They have dragonfly like wings, and very fair toned skin.
Okay. This is immediately going to put Wolfram on edge, and he's going to start looking around.
So
Can I make another perception check now that I'm on guard?
yes.
Can I ask one quick question?
Mm-hmm.
Because I only need 4 hours to be in a trance, would I be awake at this point?
I think so.
Okay.
I think Wolfram would intentionally find a time where Reyna and Mortimer wouldn't overhear his conversation with Drayton.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd still be asleep at that moment, and then I'd wake up not long after.
Okay.
So y'all.
I actually roll. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, so your conversation would be completely safe.
Just private, yeah. I actually rolled first. I think him being on edge has actually distracted him from whatever the real threat is. So yeah.
Well, you don't notice a threat, but they are kind of chittering and talking and looking back and forth at each other, and then chittering, like talking at you, but you can't really understand it. It seems like they want your attention. That much is pretty clear.
I will slowly approach, kind of crouch down. I'm not on their level because they're a little too small for me to be on their level unless I want to lay on my stomach. But yeah, I'll crouch down a little bit and like slowly approach.
So one of them reaches out their hand and attempts to try and grab your hand.
Okay, I let this happen.
It begins to tug at your hand and try and pull you.
I will tentatively follow.
So it takes flight and pulls your hand like that. The other two are kind of you know well enough that you think they're probably scouting, looking for be it food or danger or whatnot. They're doing some form of scouting and doubling back. You're led probably. Sorry, go ahead.
They're trying to lure humans in to eat. I understand.
Um, you're led probably about 40 or 50 yards to a clearing where you see lying on the ground. Hold on, if I can pull up my fucking description.
Wolfram's own corpse.
Yeah. Um,
That would be trippy.
you see a humanoid figure. It's about 5.5 feet tall, lying on the ground. Sorry, I have to pull up the fucking description and I can't find my fucking notes.
No problem.
Okay. So appearing to be made up of a mass of, like, I mean, plant growth again. This seems like a very familiar type of image, which I'm going to upload just because I'm having a hard time describing it. Well, if it'll let me. Yay, stubborn fucking computers.
Been there.
Maybe if I do this, it'll let me fucking...
Wolfram and the sprites are actually playing a game of cards.
So this feminine kind of very nature inspired, being is lying on the ground with a open gash that looks pretty bad in its leg. As it notices you, it does startle, and it seems to be ready to, defend itself. You do have a moment to, show intention to this thing.
Okay. I'm still Well, I guess if I was following this thing, I crouch back low again and kind of put a hand up and slowly approach with a shh, 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 shh. Maybe I can make like an animal handling check. I don't know.
I think a... How is, I think
I can make
go ahead.
whatever check you want me to make.
I think a persuasion with advantage, since you were led here by these pixies. It knows these pixies clearly, so.
Okay. Oh, it's a dryad. I see. Okay. I was not sure what kind of creature this was exactly. Um, okay. Where is... Okay. You said with advantage?
Yes.
Oh, man. Oh, man. That's a 7 and a nat 1 -1.
Oh,
Okay, so that's a 6. Yeah, Wolfram is holding a sword in the other hand as he slowly approaches. Like, you see the hand, but then you look beyond it, and the other hand is over the shoulder.
so this thing is in pretty bad condition. I don't think that it tries to attack you so much as realizes the um, danger at hand, or misreads the danger at hand, and tries to stand up and run. It doesn't get far. It gets a couple of feet. Like, its leg is pretty injured.
Okay. Wolfram will look back and forth, and he'll actually run back to the campsite.
Cool. So, Reyna, you have, just come out of your trance maybe 20 minutes ago, and Wolfram comes sprinting into the camp.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I just erupt out of some bushes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's happening? Are you
Reyna,
okay?
come with me.
Okay.
Quickly.
I start following Wolfram.
Does their
Okay.
talk wake us up?
Oh yeah, Wolfram is not quiet. Like, imagine like twigs and like branches snapping as Wolfram leaped through the tree line.
Yeah, so if Wolfram's not being subtle about it, yeah, you guys can wake you guys are woken up by the noise.
Hang on, I
Sounds
gotta
good.
put a robe on.
Nobody wants to see that, old man.
It's okay. He's just trying to show us the third hammer.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll lead her to this clearing, and I'll stop at the edge of the clearing and kind of gesture if the dryad is still there.
Okay.
It is fallen to a knee. It can barely move. Its leg is pretty badly fucked up.
Okay.
Did you see the picture of it?
Yeah.
So that thing
I have it pulled up.
with almost down to the bone gash in its upper right thigh, and you can tell there's 3 pixies kind of hovering around it, keeping watch basically.
Okay. Because it's theirs, or they're trying to help it?
So they're
Maybe
just flying around,
insight?
kind of watching guard basically.
Okay. Does this thing look like it wants to attack?
It looks scared.
Okay. I'll go up and try to talk to it.
Okay.
Because it has human features, so I figure it might be able to talk.
Okay. What do you say to it?
Hello? Is there any way that I can help you?
It begins speaking back to you in Elvish. I don't understand what you're saying.
So I'll speak Elvish to it.
Yeah.
I'll ask it again. Hello, is there any way that I can help you?
Just don't hurt me anymore.
We won't hurt you. We come in peace. We figured that out.
Well, I didn't. He's got a big. He looked. I was scared and confused, and your friend, he looked like the thing that.
It's very reasonable to react that way when a wolf approaches you in the wilderness.
Yeah.
I think I'll look back at Wolfram and ask him to step back a little bit, just so that she's not so scared.
Can I do something that would definitely be on brand for Wolfram, but may not help very much?
I mean, yeah, sure. This is D&D.
I think what Wolfram would do in reaction to that is disappear into the tree line, like in a very unsettling way.
I imagine. So have any of you seen that meme where they're doing the gender reveal and he smacks the thing and it's yellow and Homer just kind of fades into the bushes?
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
That's what I imagine.
I imagine him just fading into the bushes like Homer.
Yeah. That's a 16 to stealth.
Yeah, that's good.
Just
amazing.
like not the appropriate thing to do, but like technically what she asked me to do.
So, as that actually, I think helps reassure it because it feels like that is something that someone who is good with nature, one with nature, would do. And it speaks
Wolfram
to you.
is a well-trained dog.
It speaks to you in Sylvan and says a couple of words and then corrects itself and speaks to you in Elvish again. And you speak Sylvan though, right?
I think so. Let me look. No.
Okay. Well, it speaks to you in Sylvan, says a couple of words, and then realizes it's talking in Sylvan and not Elvish, and speaks to you in Elvish, and says, I don't... My friends... I was almost blacked out. I don't have much left in me. Some giant dog thing. I don't know how many there were. They attacked me, and there was something in the brush. And do you have a healer? Can you help me, please? I don't have much left. And she's very faint. Her usual bright green foliage color is kind of pale. Yeah.
At this point, with Mortimer and Malimer being awake, I assume Draven too. Are they like making their way over?
I was gonna say at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like you guys can have arrived on the scene right as it is asked for help.
Perfect.
Yeah. As you're approaching the clearing, Wolfram pops out of the brush next to you and says, "Right over there."
Thanks, Bushman.
Oh God, has anybody else seen that redneck fucking turtle man? Is that the fucking show?
Couldn't tell you.
I'll have to find it and send it.
So the only thing
I
that
think-
I have is mending that could do anything right now. Would I be able to call Malimer over
Yes.
to help me?
Malimer is a dedicated healer, so.
Yeah.
So, what are you gonna do? You're gonna speak to Malimer?
So I'm gonna ask Malimer to come over, but I'm also gonna tell this creature, I'm gonna be like, hey, don't worry, she's not gonna hurt you. She's going to help you. She's our healer. And I'll tell it that in Elvish, and I'll tell it kind of what she's gonna do as she does it, so it's not so freaked out.
So as Malimer approaches, she says, "Oh no, the poor thing. Looks horrible. It looks like something tried to eat it."
Yeah.
Cool. So that is a damn good fucking heal. So, this dryad is lying, or sitting back propped up against a tree. It was, trying to get out of this clearing into the tree line again as you guys, came to help it. And Malimer is down on one knee and she's looking at the wound and she dresses it and hovers hands over it, and this kind of like pale greenish light, greenish yellowish light emits from her hands as she kind of, does like what you would associate with like a air quotes chakra massage,
Okay.
as she heals up this wound. And there's definitely a scar, but you can watch the flesh stitch itself back together. And this dryad kind of, with Malimer's help, weakly stands and with a kind of a limp almost, and it says back to you. Does she speak? Oh yeah, it says in Elvish, I am so grateful for your help. I can offer you, and she pulls out a little purse and begins to sort through it. It's like made of leaves and twigs and stuff. It's kind of cute.
I love it.
And you hear like the clinking of coins. I can give you some things that I have from just passersby and things like that. But I can go back home and come back with more if you would be willing to help out this forest by finding whatever that thing was that attacked me. I can give you a description.
We would be glad to help you.
Malimer looks at you and she goes, in common, she says, I mean, we have no idea what this thing is. Of course I want to help, but what can we do? And you guys can feel free to move in and be a part of the conversation if you wish, or not. We can just leave that as an open point.
I'm just gonna kind of stand by and listen. I do understand Elvish.
Cool, sweet.
And can Wolfram, kind of gaining some idea of the situation, start searching for tracks around here? Because obviously, if it attacked her or attacked other creatures near here, there'd be some sort of indication that it was around here.
Yes, you can go ahead and do that.
All right. Is that a survival?
Yes. So I'm pulling up the sheet information
Okay.
for the thing.
On the off
That's
chance he doesn't
good.
succeed, I would like to roll as well.
Mute it for just a second.
Honestly, we could aid each other. That's 15 for me.
I rolled 13.
What are you
Die.
doing?
So, you do in the tree line, more closer to the area that you entered this clearing, and it's not a huge clearing. It's maybe 8 or 10 feet, like in a circle. Closer to your camp, there are some pretty large tracks that seem to be canine, and as well, there are some kind of humanoid-ish tracks that seem like barefoot.
Okay, I'm gonna start rolling them.
Cool. So, does the rest of the party follow? Wolfram's tracking? Or you gonna let him?
Wolfram doesn't announce himself, so if you don't notice, he's already like starting to disappear into the woods.
I was gonna say I'd probably talk to this creature and ask her what attacked her. Like, give me a description.
Cool. So,
Smart.
Driffin follows.
Wolfram and Driffin, I will get back to that in just a second.
No problem.
Raina, I will get back to you in just a second.
That's fine. I'm gonna
Oh,
go yell at
okay.
Biscuit.
Yeah. Wolfram and Driffin, these tracks are pretty clear. I mean, it's got to be a heavy thing, whatever it is. But it seems like Wolfram, you've seen wolf tracks. It seems like a very big wolf, but the toe pads are more separated, and it's a large creature, or not in the terms of D&D large creature, but it is a big thing.
Okay, so just to be clear, has Wolfram possibly seen larger wolf tracks than this, or does he think that it is?
Wolfram
Maybe
has
that?
seen larger wolf tracks than this.
Okay, so it's not what my mind immediately went to.
No, it is not that thing.
Okay.
It looks like they were in a run, and to the left, or to the side of the wolf tracks, there are humanoid, like I said, humanoid barefoot tracks, and a couple of them, you can maybe catch the imprints of, like, longer nails. This is probably someone who lives out in this wilderness,
Okay.
It's not necessarily a very well hygiened type of person.
I got you.
Here's a solid question. What's the moon looking like tonight?
Ooh, good call.
So, I will say I see what you're going for. These are definitely two separate tracks. They're like side by side.
Okay.
But it was crescent moon phase last night.
Okay.
Wolfram's gonna slow down following these tracks and kind of motion to Drafin to slow down so that we can move stealthily.
Stealth roll?
Yes.
Oh,
man. Footage.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, me too. I got a 7.
7 plus 4, I got 11.
I just got a 7. Wolfram motions to stop and then steps on a branch.
Oof. That's tough.
So what happens is you follow these tracks for a while, and as you slow down and kind of fall into a stealth, you realize that you've gotten into kind of deep wood where it's a lot thicker, and you're edging towards like mountainous foothills, because there's like this whole region is just half circles and circles of mountains and foothills, and it's very mountainous here. with your continued tracking, and because I don't feel the need to make you roll another, you did a pretty good survival. Uh, you think the direction you're heading, you're probably tracking this thing into a cave.
Okay. I think at that point, I'm gonna opt, if this is okay to do, I'm gonna opt to go back and get the rest of the party before progressing further.
Yes, that's completely fair to me.
Well, actually, can we play it this way? Wolfram will kind of whisper to Drafen to go back and get the party, and Wolfram will stay here and make sure that they don't leave the cave. He'll hide outside of the cave.
I feel like
Sounds
that
good.
would take another stealth roll.
No, I think I honestly somehow I need to be punished for that bad stealth roll. This is just
Ah,
giving me opportunity for that. So,
okay. All
um,
right. Griffin takes off at his full sprinting speed.
Okay. I don't think y'all were super far away, so I think I have a way to resolve this. Reyna. So you asked for the description. Molimer is, patting its leg, making sure the wound is healed up good. Um, and it tells you it was in the late hours of the night, early morning. I didn't see it well. Like I said, I heard something crashing around in the brush around us, leading out into the lighter areas of the forest. There's been something wrong with the forest, but it feels as if it is past and life is coming back. And honestly, I was going to leave the forest. That's why I was leaving the lighter brush areas. Try and find new home. Um, and in this area, it was some kind of wolf dog. There, I. Here's the thing: I only saw one running, but I could have sworn I was bitten by two different creatures. And Molimer looks up at you and says, "I mean, the wound pattern would confirm that it looked like two differently sized mouths, as far as I could tell. But I'm no field medic." And as she's saying that, Driffin, you you emerge into the clearing again, and she finishes up by saying, "And there was some tall, bulky thing that looked human-ish, humanoid, but it was, I barely caught a glimpse of it as it ducked and ran in the shade of the early morning shadows."
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, and Driffin has emerged right as she finishes her description from the wood.
Griffin runs in and tells them that we've tracked it to a cave and may or may not need assistance with the situation that may or may not occur.
I will straight ahead follow.
Before we leave to go follow the tracks, I would like to walk up to her, and I grab a handful of the moss, and in Elvish, I say, "If you're ever afraid or nervous, just put this up to your ears. That sound you'll hear is us. We'll always be here for you."
oh,
She
See, Mortimer's the type of character. Mortimer's the type of character that dies at the end of the movie, and everybody
Yeah,
cries.
about it.
I have a feeling it's going to be about halfway through.
Oh,
Everybody cries.
somebody found my notebook. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no,
I'm just kidding.
this is D&D. We don't know when anybody's gonna die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just happens every now and again.
So, Wolfram, we'll cut back to you real quick as everybody. You hear snuffling and snorting. sounds like you think if you guys have tracked the right thing to the right cave, that dryad probably got a good hit in before it was knocked on its ass, you know, and this thing has kind of come back to lick its wounds.
Okay.
And yeah, you can hear something breathing heavily inside.
Wolfram is kind of up by the entrance, kind of off to the side, probably trying to be like half hidden, but wanting to like watch to make sure nothing leaves. He's kind of like hearing the cave slowly starts to unsheath his weapon.
Damn it! I just thought of something Griffin could have done before he left.
So what's your
Where's Mark?
AC, Griffin?
Oh, mine. My bad. I was totally.
Or, sorry,
zoned
no,
out.
Wolfram. Sorry, what's your AC,
Okay.
Wolfram?
Okay.
What's my AC?
Yeah,
Are you attacking me?
possibly.
I'll be honest, I think the way this typically works is that you ask if something hits me and I tell you. That's a 15.
So from the darkness inside the mouth of the cave, a large spiked club comes swinging down in front of you, and you are able to duck past it. But just inside was this huge fucking hairy weird beast that you somehow were not able to see, and it's kind of humanoid. It's a bugbear.
Hell
will know
yeah.
it as
Oh, no,
bugbear.
I knew it was a bugbear. I fucking love bugbears. Let's fucking go.
Yeah. So
I'm really glad he didn't hit me.
yeah, no, because that does a shit ton of damage. That surprise attack.
Oh, I know. Remember when we killed Bjorn?
Yeah, fucking A.
Okay, should I roll initiative?
Yes.
Okay. That is... Oh, that's bad. He's really caught off guard. He swings back in a way, but like, in a way that he doesn't have good footing. And so, yeah, I just lose that first round. That is a 6 initiative.
Cool. Well, everybody else roll initiative for me real quick.
I get
awesome.
a thing at like level 7 that will help me with specific instances like this.
Griffin rolls a nat 20 plus 2.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
Griffin's already got a plan.
Wolfram, or not Wolfram, Griffin hears something in the distance and is already getting his bow out.
Fuck yeah, nat 20 for, what is your plus 2? 22 for Mortimer? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, 22 for Griffin as well. So how do we do that?
It's whoever has a higher dex. Doesn't Mortimer's dex is 14?
Yeah, Griffin will be going first in that
Yeah,
circumstance.
Griffin's 15.
Okay.
Okay, so the how we're gonna do this is you guys aren't terribly far away, but I think it's a full round away. So
Yeah.
You'll be just in time to see Wolfram die.
Damn.
So the bugbear steps out and kind of gets like in your face a little bit and tries to swing at you again. How the fuck does that happen? Does a 7 hit?
I do want to remind you, Kane, just in case you didn't remember, that bugbear had advantage on that attack against me. That surprise attack.
Yeah. Well, the last
okay.
3 rolls that I've rolled for it were all 3s.
Okay.
So yeah, does a 7 hit?
A 7 manages to not hit me. Yeah.
Yeah. So it trying to get its bearings from stepping out of the darkness into the light. It swings wide again. Next up will be. Okay. So. This thing is injured, and I forgot to account for that, so I need to I shouldn't be telling you guys this.
Yay! Player knowledge.
You could just roll one of the Dryad's attacks to see how much damage it's taken.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
see, I'm using an app because the initiative tracker on the app is easier to manage, but I have stuff written down, so like I'm
Yeah.
going back and forth.
No problem. I understand the pain of that.
Yeah. So this what is its speed? Okay, cool. It can cover that. From behind the bugbear in the cave, you hear almost like a galloping, and this big ass fucking dog with two heads, one bigger than the other.
Fucking knew it.
How did you know it?
Because one dog but two bites is a two-headed dog.
Yeah.
Had to have been.
Yeah. The fucking death dog, my dude.
Yeah. It comes out from behind the bugbear and attempts to snap at you.
Come at me, bro.
Does a 12 hit?
It does not.
Okay. And does a 21 hit?
Oof.
21 hits, but yeah, I think Wolfram puts his arm out to catch one of the mouths.
Yeah. So what happens?
This thing just
The small one isn't quite close enough, but like the angle on the big one as it throws itself, it grabs your arm.
Yeah, well, the way I'm imagining it is Wolfram kind of pushes away and dodges out of the way at one, but the other one he has to like put his arm in the way to like block it from biting his shoulder or his face.
Yeah. So would you make a a Constitution save for me?
Okay. Will that affect how much damage I take?
No, you take 5 damage. Sorry.
Okay. Man, I'm rolling like shit. I'm using an app and it hasn't rolled very well most of the day. That is an 11 con.
Is that before your bonuses?
Yeah, man, I rolled a 6 plus 5.
Oof.
That's tough.
That is rough, yes. I'm not happy about it either.
So unfortunately, you are
You contract
poisoned.
AIDS. No.
I mean,
Do what?
he is poisoned.
Yeah.
Okay. Wolfram is poisoned. Okay.
All right. So that brings it around to your turn, Wolfram.
All right. Wolfram is now poisoned, but he's also pissed off, and there's no one else here, so no collateral damage. So he is going to reach for his hood, pull it up over his face, and the glaring red eyes are going to shine out as he goes into a rage.
So remind me, this is his first stage, right?
Yes, this is his first stage.
Cool.
Trust me, I will tell you when he goes into the second.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, he's going to go into a rage and swing out. Well, yeah, he catches the mouth with one arm, with his forearm. With the other hand, pulls down his hood and grabs his sword and swings it out across this thing, snarling, same as this beast. So that's going to be disadvantage. He didn't expect the sudden wave of weakness. And yeah, it's just more than he can handle. So that's an 8.
Yeah, that on the Death Dog does not hit.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a little awkward to get in there.
Yeah, it's right on me, and he can already feel the poison like going through him and weakening him. So on one end he's being strengthened by the rage, but on the other end he's being weakened by the poison.
Yeah. So.
All right, that's the turn.
With that turn concluded, Driffin, you leading the rest of the party come in and see this like 6'4", 6'5", hairy brute thing with a weird buckler shield and a spiked club in one hand, and this two-headed, weird, mutated, fucked up dog that's like got its teeth around Wolfram's arm.
All right. So that answers one question for me. However, there is still one question. What is the actual distance between Wolfram and this giant bugbear, is it?
Yes, about 5 feet. He's within hitting range of Wolfram.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
both like on me.
All right. So you can cast a cantrip and attack still.
If it's a
Right.
bonus action,
Yeah, if it's a bonus action cantrip.
Is that would Hunter's Mark is a bonus action? Yes.
it's not a cantrip, it's a spell.
It's
Oh,
it
it's a
is
spell. Is it a bonus action or not?
It's
I
a bonus
believe
action.
It is, yes.
Okay. Cool. Then I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on the bugbear, and then fire a glass arrow at it.
Ooh, I like it. Okay, yeah.
So does a 12 plus 4, 16 hit.
Yes.
What's the Hunter's Mark thing again? Is that with advantage?
No, it gives you
No,
a
it-
bonus to your damage.
To my damage, that's right. Okay.
Yes. I believe it's a D6, right?
Yeah.
So D6 and a D8 plus 2. Alright, so that's 8 plus 2 is 10.
10 damage? Cool. And
Yes.
because
And
you
then the
hit-
glass arrow effect.
Yes, we will apply the Caltrops effect. So it has to make and it does
By the
not.
way, for anybody
Sorry, go ahead.
anybody who hasn't seen it, I'll go ahead and post what Wolfram looks like in his rage.
Oh yeah. Did you see it?
Ooh.
That's sick. I
It's
like that.
posted.
Alright, so
That's so
Cool.
cool.
So it takes
Badass.
10 damage.
yes.
So it makes a as it did not fucking see you there, and all of a sudden glass is shattered against his back, and stepping into the clearing right behind Driffin is Mortimer. You're up.
You see Wolfram wrestling with the dog on the ground, both of them snarling at each other, and a bugbear that just got shot.
That was
Alright.
pretty damn good damage, by the way. Holy shit.
I'm
Yeah,
it was.
that's why I did the Hunter's Mark.
I want to run at the bugbear.
Yeah, let's do it.
Does a 2 hit?
No, a 2 does not hit, unfortunately.
He just trips as he's running toward it.
He does have a low movement speed. That could be part of it. Well, no, he's a rogue. He could dash.
Oh, my back.
There it is.
Yeah, he gets to running, but like right as he's at the end, catches a spasm.
Damn.
Well,
I
where
love
are
it.
you then? Who are you attacking?
The
I was
bugbear.
gonna run at the bugbear,
Okay.
so I'm kinda at the entrance. Right? Is that where he was?
Yeah. So does Rogue at second level have the dash, dodge, disengage shit yet?
Yeah, it's or yeah,
So you have
That is-
Sorry, go ahead.
that is second level. Sorry.
You have the option to disengage, or if you so wish,
Dash.
you can dash, which means you can move twice your movement speed and carry on past it. But honestly, if I would suggest using it to the disengage gives disadvantage on the next attack against him for the thing, right?
Disengage allows him to move away from it without it taking an opportunity attack.
Gotcha. Cool. So you do have you probably have about 10 feet of movement left. If you would like to do that, you can do it as your bonus action.
Yeah, disengage. If it's his back that's hurting, it's disengage is going to be better than all of a sudden getting the zoomies and just dashing away.
Yeah. So with that, Reyna, it's your turn.
Okay, so there's a bugbear and a two-headed dog.
Yeah.
Okay. How far are these creatures from me? I need to know what I can use.
About 20 feet.
20 feet?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me look at something.
I need to bring up. I did just think of something. These are both classified as beasts.
Well, they're not. It's a monstrosity and a humanoid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't
Okay.
remember on the Death Dog, but yeah, the Death Dog is a monstrosity.
I did need to ask that because I just thought of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, that's good on you for keeping me on my toes, because I fucking forgot about it the last time.
It's okay.
Bobby did ask though. Like, it's up to if as the DM you want to give it the secondary like whatever of beast. I mean, like I don't think any of us would argue with that.
I will say, yeah, if you attack the Death Dog, you get your bonus, because the reason I'm using it is because it used to be a dog or wolf that got corrupted by the bullshit that y'all just dealt with, so.
Okay. So that'll be an advantage roll?
You will get a +2 bonus to your damage and attack roll.
Oh.
I think it's just damage. I could be mistaken. I'm almost certain it's just damage.
Yeah. I have your character sheet pulled up. I don't know why Oh no, you are using the optional things. So what you have is the favored foe, which means that when you hit a creature with an attack roll, you can call on your mystical bond with nature to mark the target as your favored enemy for 1 minute.
Huh?
I don't think I have that yet.
Yeah, that's at first level. And the first time on each of your turns that you hit it with the favored enemy and deal damage to it, you increase that damage by 1d4. So basically, if you hit it, you can then say, "This is my favored enemy," and I don't see any reason why those. Lose your concentration. So you can't do it on top of Hunter's Mark because Hunter's Mark is a concentration.
Okay.
But if you wanted to drop Hunter's Mark, you definitely could. And what that does is you can increase any damage you deal to it on the first time your turn by 1d4.
Okay.
And
so Hunter's Mark is better.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what it sounded like.
Yes, exactly. Hunter's Mark does 1d6 and this does 1d4. This feels like a thing where it's like, you get this before you get spells, and it's not the best, but it's a thing, Okay.
Yeah. There's also, I still get that damage without having to use a spell slot.
Correct. You still get an additional bonus to your damage to beasts.
Yeah, that's the advantage I'm looking at, is like I take a hit of 2 less damage, but I don't have to use a spell slot by using Hunter's Mark, and
Yes, exactly, yeah.
You guys are using Standard Ranger with the optional thing from Tasha's?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to keep up here because you're getting me confused, and like I know a lot of this shit. So
yeah, the favored foe thing is just the one that I found on D&D Beyond, so it may be out of date.
it sounds right to me. Rangers are pretty complicated, and then when you add in all the other optional stuff, it gets rather confusing.
Yeah.
I don't have it all memorized.
I hope that gave Rana plenty of time to think.
I did. I want to do Dissonant Whispers.
Okay, on what? Bugbear or Death Dog?
I'll do the Death Dog. Because it's
Cool.
still attached to Wolfram, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's
Yeah.
get it off Wolfram. I need a wisdom saving throw, please.
Is it against being blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, stunned, or knocked unconscious?
I don't know.
Can you read the spell to me?
You whisper a disordinate melody that only one creature of your choice within range can hear, racking it with terrible pain. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a fail, it takes 3d6 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from you.
Okay, so no, it doesn't. It has advantage because it has 2 heads on certain specific things.
Gotcha.
So, but this does not apply. Ooh, what was this save?
A wisdom saving throw?
Yeah, it rolled a 6.
Oof.
Yeah,
Hell
you definitely
yeah.
didn't save yourself.
So this thing, it makes a yelp and it fucking runs in the opposite direction.
Opportunity attack.
Yes. What'd you roll for
Ooh.
damage?
12.
You rolled 12?
Yes.
Yikes.
Psychic damage.
So, yeah, go ahead and make your opportunity attack on it.
All right, that is a 23 to hit.
Damn!
Fuck, that hits!
Knock a whole head off, why don't you?
That is 12 damage. Can I cut off one of its heads?
Whoop,
Yeah.
whoop.
No, yeah, like the smaller... Well, I'll leave it up to you, but yeah, definitely a head comes off.
Can I say how it goes?
Yes.
So it's down on the ground. It's like kind of rustling on the ground. She does this to it, and it distracts it for a second. Wolfram snarls, flipping it back as it tries to get away, and just swings around and cuts off the head that bit his arm.
Yeah, so that would be the larger one, which actually makes sense. It has just a touch of life left to it as it continues to try to limp away.
Wolfram roars.
It is not happy. Reyna, that was your action. Do you have a bonus action that you would like to do? I don't know if you
That
have
was-
anything.
I
Okay.
think I do.
Just so you know, that was with disadvantage. I rolled 2 18s.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ.
Man. Go buy a lottery ticket real quick.
For
Yeah.
real though.
So, fucking horrified of what it just witnessed, the bugbear being next.
Wolfram turns to it with his glowing red eyes.
Yeah.
Gives it a nice little smirk.
What is the continued effect of Dissonant Whispers?
Nothing.
So it has to use its reaction to run the fuck away, and then
If available, it can move as far as way. If the creature does not move into obviously... the creature doesn't move into obviously dangerous ground. And then it talks about on a success save, so it doesn't have any extra stuff to it.
So it doesn't have a duration, it's instantaneous?
Yeah, it's instantaneous.
cool.
Okay.
But this thing lets go and starts to turn. Wolfram cleaves its fucking head off, one of them, and then it continues to sprint. I think its movement speed is 40 feet. Yeah, it sprints 40 feet in the other direction into the woods.
Okay.
Wolfram does a 14 hit.
Does not.
This bugbear is just fucking scared shitless, and it's only fighting based off of a fucking fight or flight instinct at this point, as it just swings wide again and clanks against the side of the cave wall.
I think Wolfram, he swings at it, and Wolfram just moves like a flash, just knocking aside his weapon with his sword.
I like it. So, up next, This dog kind of limps back into the clearing at this cave mouth and looks around, and it kind of stands behind the bugbear and tries to hide itself behind the bugbear as one of its fucking necks is bleeding. Wolfram, it's your turn.
All right.
This thing is quickly bleeding out, but it's not quite there yet.
The bugbear also is under the caltrip effect currently.
Oh, that will be affecting. How large is that area? 5 feet?
Yes. If you make a dex save of 15, I believe is the. I don't think it's that high even.
Okay. Is that affecting me?
Well, that's up to the DM.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
I think you're fine unless you choose to move forward into the bugbear space. So like trying to shove them or something like that.
Okay. Is it back around to me? I rolled like
Yes.
a 6, so okay. Wolfram, very done with this, kind of crouching, moves forward, and like goes to attack this bugbear. He just swings completely. What's the word for it? He comes at him like a beast. You know what I mean? Like
feral,
he
just
direct.
fucking...
Yeah. So this is a reckless attack. That should get rid of my disadvantage. That is a 15 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. Yeah. Wolfram just brings it around, both hands.
Wait. Oh no. Yeah, he doesn't have a shield, so he's Okay. Yeah, that hits.
Okay. That's an 8 on the die again. So +4. That is 1, 2, 3. That is 12 damage again.
Jesus Christ.
Wolfram did not come to play today.
No, yeah. You leave a great gash in this thing's chest as you just cleave across, and it falls to one knee using its club to try and steady itself.
Okay. That's my turn.
Okay, that brings us around to Driffin.
All right. So Driffin's just gonna fire a regular arrow this time at the same enemy.
Yeah.
6. Yikes. +4. 10.
10 does not hit, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. All right.
All right. That brings us around to Mortimer.
All right. So I am within a couple feet of this guy, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna smack him. Let's see. Okay.
Did you just 19 plus 2? Yeah, that hits.
All right. So can I assume? So I've already put the rest of the moss in my other barrel because I assumed the one that was shot exploded.
Yeah.
Can I do kind of like a rocket jump where I like smack the ground and do like a forward somersault and then bash him in the head?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. You also get your sneak attack damage because you're within 5 feet of a friend.
Uh-huh. The bugbear is sufficiently distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you will get, it's 1d6 for the rogue, right?
Yes.
So you will get 1d6, and you use the moss, so it'll be concussive thunder damage. There it is.
Yeah. So what's that? 1d8 plus 1d6.
Yes.
Okay. Plus Dex. What is it? Plus 2. I don't know.
My Dex is 2, so that's a 7. Plus 2 is 9.
Yeah. As you kind of slam down into this thing's general head and neck area, it ceases to be a head and neck area. As the gash in its chest opens up even wider from the downward momentum, and it just kind of splats as it falls down, and what's left behind it is this cowering death dog who's missing a head. Rain.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
So 20 minutes ago, I handed a woman moss and was like the most wholesome gentleman, and I
And now you're just a
decapitated
savage.
bugbear.
Well, I
To
mean,
your
like,
ear, it won't blow off your head.
Yeah.
that's
Also-
the kind of shit that rogues do, though, is just like, you know, here, my lady, and then 30 minutes later, they're shanking someone in the spleen in an alley. Like,
That's charisma for you.
I also want you guys to know the random messages on the that's
are for
being sent.
birds.
Yes, I have a bird walking across the keyboard.
That's
Is
fine.
it Ducky?
That's Peppy, the cockatiel.
Peppy!
Your
I
turn.
will shoot Sacred Flame at it.
Cool. That's a save, right?
Yes, deck save.
What is its dex? What did I... 7. It did not save.
No, it didn't. 3 radiant damage.
Hey, guess how much health it had left?
3!
Yes. So, you send forward your ribbon of heavenly light, and it wraps itself around, and you can kind of smell you never wondered what cooking dog smelled like before, but now you know. Da 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 da. You guys won.
Wolfram's without him even touching his hood, the cloak falls back. His eyes go back to normal, and he just like kind of falls to the ground.
Interesting.
That reminds me.
He collapses right next to Mortimer.
Question.
How,
We roasted the dog.
Yes.
how long
Is
does
there
this poison
any-
last?
Well, see, here's the thing about death dogs. It's a pretty fucking gnarly poison. Let me pull it up so I can read it directly, because I don't want to fuck it up. But come on, quit being slow. Okay, there it goes. So what it is you have a disease now, until the disease is cured, and every 24 hours, you must repeat the saving throw, and
Okay.
reducing your maximum hit points by 5 on a failure. It lasts until
Okay.
it lasts until the disease is cured. The creature dies if the disease hits its hit point maximum to 0.
Okay. Hey, I don't need too many more. I don't need all the details. I'll take it as it comes. But I was just curious how this worked. I didn't know when I could get rid of it.
Well, if I can find.
Yeah, Wolfram goes down. He's
Griffin with
probably got like weird purple veins and black coming up his bleeding forearm from where he got bitten.
so we roasted the thing. Is there any blood left?
Oh, so you've roasted the thing. Okay.
I'm saying that Reyna roasted it earlier.
Gotcha.
Is there any blood left in the body?
I imagine there's some.
Could I take some for the purpose of possibly reverse engineering it for a cure for this poison?
An anti-venom, if you will.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right.
I'm gonna say it's gonna take some time to do it. So
Yeah, obviously, but
Yeah.
in the off chance that we don't find anything before then,
Yeah, well, I was looking at the spell list, and unfortunately, none of the
You're
lower
gonna
level-
need You're gonna need a second level spell to do that. Lesser Restoration.
Yeah. Which.
That is at third level. Well, it's a second level spell, but Mullimer won't get it anytime soon,
Yeah.
unless we level up. I don't know what level you have her as. Is she like a regular PC, or is she like a sidekick leveling system, or?
I have her as a PC, honestly.
Honestly, we probably need the help.
Well, that was the thing. I was like, this is horror based, and I don't. If I do too good of a job, I don't want people to die just because I fucked up the. Like I made
Balancing.
shit too hard,
I wouldn't worry about it too much. I mean, like, I don't think a disease is going to kill Wolfram. It might, but probably won't. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Well, with that done, the Dryad follows the ruin of trail that you guys sprinted down. And
Well, she's probably in pretty rough shape. Could we go back to her?
yeah.
Okay.
So entering back into the clearing, she is kind of hobbling about, trying to get used to it. It seems she's fashioned a branch into a kind of crutch. Like she's been healed, but it's still awkward to walk on that leg right now.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Also, I will say, where is that thing?
Right here.
Hey now.
I have some loot for you guys, but I can't find where I wrote it down.
Is it in
Oh.
the cave?
It was on the bugbear. He had a pack on him.
Hmm.
I don't think anybody investigated him. Did anybody investigate him?
No, not actively, but we can roll that. I mean,
We could always go back later. Yeah.
The Dryad says to you, looking around, she says, "Wow, I take it you found it." And Elvish,
Yes, we did.
well,
Look.
sorry, go ahead, Wolfram.
No, I'm just checking my languages. Oh, I speak Elvish. Awesome.
Cool.
cool. I'm the only one here that doesn't? Or does Mortimer?
Mortimer speaks.
Ah, that sucks.
I can tell you everything if you want to ask.
So what did we find?
So, on the bugbear, you would find 12 gold pieces in its sack, a broken dagger, a scrap of cloth that is bloody, and by the way, this pack he stole it. Obviously, he pulled it off of something, and then 10 silver and 8 copper. However y'all want to divide that.
Now, I'm gonna ask, just because I want to know for roleplay reasons, so this doesn't feel as much like a video game.
Yeah.
When Wolfram, when we defeat the death dog and the bugbear, and Wolfram passes out on the ground, who's like, you know what? I'm gonna check this body. Because I feel like it could be any of you guys, but I'm very curious to which one of you would take the initiative.
I feel like it's because, like I said, this pack is clearly not designed for his body. It's too small. It looks like he probably grabbed it off of something, and it's just kind of slung over his shoulder. So
Okay. I just want to know who did it.
yeah, whoever decides that they would like to have grabbed it, Raina.
Can I have a quick? No, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Do we recognize this pack?
No, it just looks like an average everyday adventuring pack.
Okay.
Well, Driffin was focused on gathering blood from the decapitated death dog.
We do have a rogue here.
Yeah.
Rogue's possibly a rogue?
I mean, I could pocket it. I'm right next to him.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
So,
You also defeated him.
yeah. Mortimer snaps up the bag and slings it over his own shoulder as Reyna tries to help pull Wolfram to his feet.
Griffin would like to ask if this dryad, though, would know anything about Death Dog Venom.
It's, I mean, particularly cruel.
Obviously, yeah, through translating from one of the three who speak.
Yeah. It's particularly cruel. I still feel weak myself. I'm sure that was what attacked me, though. If you fought something that bit one of you and they are now very weak, seems close enough.
Damn it.
So, the dryad nods towards you all and says, "If there's anything I can do for you, I of course appreciate the great danger you've put yourself through."
Wolfram gives a thumbs up as he sweats profusely.
Mortimer looks at her and he's like, "All I want you to do is to never forget us."
Hey,
Mortimer is so
research.
Yeah, Mortimer is awesome.
Wipes the blood off his face from the bugbear.
Like,
Is there anything beneficial that we could possibly take from the dryad?
she had like a small, like I said, she had like a small, like coin purse basically that she kind of pulled out of her foliage.
I'm not trying to take that. I'm relatively referring to like, so she's Spriggan in design, yes,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
kind of. Would any of the plants growing from her body have any beneficial uses?
I don't know if that's a cool thing to ask somebody. No.
I mean, I don't know that you would have any way of knowing that.
Maybe
Yeah,
a
I
nature
wouldn't,
check?
but yeah, I mean,
Or a medicine?
A medicine check. I like the thought of doing a medicine check for it. I think. I mean,
rather let me roll to see if I can identify any of the plants on her, rather than asking.
yeah. Which I think this is an Arcana because it feels like a like
Not
a
in nature? Well, I guess she is magic.
well.
Either way, I've got a +0.
The thing you're identifying is nature. So yeah, nature feels better.
Okay. And that is
I guess
a
they would be
6.
mundane plants. I don't know. I don't know anything.
That's a 6, so probably don't identify anything interesting.
She's got some berries growing from her. Some like very colorful fall reds and orange leaves.
Okay.
And she says, "Well, if that's all, I will definitely keep you on my mind. I'll just be going then." And she steps into a tree, and with that is gone. If you would like more interaction, we can,
Your lady is gone.
The tree lady is gone, everybody.
This is wild. I like it.
So are you going to bring up what you wrote down?
What?
You had a theory.
I was asking if it could possibly be Connor's pack that we just got off the bugbear.
Connor's what?
Really?
Oh, Connor's pack. Gotcha.
Uh-huh.
Is there any ID in it?
I wish.
There is a broken dagger
And the blood.
and a bloody cloth. Yeah, we could. I don't know. What's the technology in this place look like? We couldn't identify the blood, could we?
Yeah, who's got fucking PCR blood
Well,
testing?
actually, we should definitely keep that cloth. And this is going for player knowledge, really. Did Connor and/or his brother have a dog?
What do you mean? You think the death dog was his dog?
No. I'm more or less referring to if and when we find our way back into town, the dog could possibly identify the scent.
Ah, I see.
Not that you know of, but you know, if you're looking for a sighting dog, I'm sure there's plenty of hunters.
I'm more or less not. I'm not looking to hunt and look for him. I'm just trying to figure out whether or not
It
we
is
do
his.
actually. Yeah.
Yep.
I just checked Wolfram's inventory. He does not have a crime lab.
Horatio
Damn it,
Kane
Wolfram.
just walks up.
Looks like someone had a real magical time. Puts on sunglasses. Yeah!
Oh my god.
Wolfram vomits.
So, question. I'm going to assume that you guys would like to rest one more night at the same camp, rather than trying to move after that.
Yeah.
Wolfram's
Yeah.
not
Spell
feeling
slot
so good.
recovery would be cool too, but yeah.
Definitely.
Wolfram will want to rest for one more night, but he will insist on not staying any longer than one night because he doesn't want to lose time over a what he calls a small inconvenience.
His vomiting can barely stand.
Yeah,
Small inconvenience.
I would be fine. Yeah. Just let me know whenever you need me to roll that con check.
Yeah. Where is...
Well, it's once every 24 hours, so I feel like it wouldn't happen until that first 24 hours is up, or is it just intermittently within the 24 hours?
No, just every 24 hours.
Okay, so
So, do you just want to like roll it at the top of each day?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
However we do that.
if you guys are going to rest for one more night, what we have going on is we have another set of dreams.
Oh.
So this time we will start with Wolfram.
Okay.
The Wolfram falls into a fitful, fitful, sweaty, cold sweat of a sleep, and resumes his dream from the last he remembers, and steam pools around Wolfram's collarbone and chest as he stands over his slain foe. Pain and anger welling up to the forefront of his consciousness and are pushed back away from him as the world falls away to nothingness. In front of him stands a long line of his predecessors. Wolfram finds himself prone in front of his father on his knees and stripped down to his furs. A stern look on his father's face, approving in its judgment, and Wolfram is taken back to a time when his heirlooms were passed down to him in the first place. He is pulled back to the moment at hand, and his father, being handed the heirlooms by his own father, and so on down the line, hands it down to the current bearer of the Voltaire mantle. Wolfram feels the cloak grace his shoulders, settling into place and becoming a part of him, fusing as if one. The sword strap along his back feeling as if it were never separate from him ever. You were always worthy, but now you have earned the power locked within your blood, speaks his father as he gives Wolfram his hand and pulls him to his feet, himself in the line of ancestors fading away as the dream ends.
Can I add just one small thing to that?
Yes, yeah, these by the way, I have these written, but they are, kind of interactable. If you want to interact in it and change stuff, yeah.
So, at the very tail end of the dream, when he says you have to unlock what's in your blood, you just feel a rumble in the earth as you hear, like, this deep otherworldly growling, and then it ends.
Oh, I love it. I love it a lot. So we'll move on. With that, we'll move on next to Reyna. Reyna, coming into your trance, you usually don't dream, but you have these visions in your trance, and you find yourself standing atop a cobblestone bridge in an endless expanse of nothingness, blackness. You find yourself once again facing the horn-helmed stranger. His hands rest at the pommel of his sword sunk into the stone at his feet. The man looks you up and down, with odd eyes seeming to be made of the same endless blackness all around. A subtle smile crosses his face, sharp features exemplified by the smallest of movements. He places a hand on your shoulder, and his size begins to dawn on you, as he's easily 3 to 4 feet taller than you.
Okay.
He reaches up to his face with the other hand, and seemingly with no effort, plucks forth his left eye. The eye, though, is made of pure blinding light. "It's time for you to see what I see," he says in a rumbling tone, making the bridge vibrate under your feet as he places the orb against your forehead, pushing it in painlessly. Warmth travels down your body from your spine, as suddenly the expanse of nothingness is lit only by the far too large moon behind him, turns into a multicolor parade of lights, colors, and shapes, washing across the space as far as you can see. As the sight begins to feel too much, he releases your shoulder, and you come to from your dream.
Holy fuck. Okay.
Now, like I said, that is written, but would you like to interact with the dream in any way?
No.
Okay. We can move on to Driffins. Driffin finds himself, bow drawn, crouched, and slinking his way down a long, dark hallway. The sconces are lit and torches burning, but their light seems smothered and eaten by the very shadow they create. The heat and humidity is unbearable, the sweat rolling down by the bucketful, rolling down Driffin's back by the bucketful, only a minor relief to the warmth. The air is thick as maple syrup and just as sticky. Driffin wonders when this hallway became a swamp as he walks out further into the water. Turning back around, he sees nothing more but swamp behind him, unbelievably. At this moment, a sharp and short whistle calls his attention, obviously made by someone and not something. The woman from your first dream is here, sitting on a plank tied into a rope swing, gently swaying back and forth, her foot against the surface of the water as if it were solid land, and pushing herself. She says to you, "I can't do much for you, but this is the one thing I can. Use it wisely, my child," she says as she clutches at the fabric of her dress against her chest and rips it free, tosses it on the wind to drift to you, and it lands in your outstretched hand. Looking back up, you see that the dress she's wearing shows no sign of damage, though she just tore the scrap away for you. The scrap wraps itself around your hand like a well-fitting glove, tight and comfortable, before fading into your skin. With a snap, you come to.
Interesting.
Would you like to interact with that in any way?
I can't think of any way that would, be any more interesting than what did happen. So,
Cool.
yeah, no.
So Mortimer, in his dream, finds himself swimming through the crowd once again. The cacophony of voices, a symphony of chaos. Mortimer feels at home, though. He loves being around people with this. People to help, people to make laugh and feel joy. Mortimer feels in his element, and this is why he and his sister left the confines of a tribe society underground. The air, the light, the people, the work to prosper with. As these thoughts pass through Mortimer's head, it occurs that the sound is once again drifted away. The road Mortimer walks on does not pass underneath as if he were not actually moving. A man puts his hand on Mortimer's shoulder, nothing very telling or specific about him, and as he begins to question this action, Mortimer feels another hand on his other shoulder, this time a woman, again very nondescript. The third time he feels a child hug his waist as if, greeting a long overdue family visit during the holidays. Man, woman, and child all begin to place their hands on Mortimer from the crowd as they pass, all these people shifting and merging into one. Standing before Mortimer, one being, both hands on his shoulders, looking deeply into Mortimer's eyes as he says, "You faced a lot of evil, a lot of bad, and lived and loved and not let it overcome you. I'm proud of you for that, and for that I give you this." and the stranger buries a knife to the hilt in Mortimer's shoulder. There's no pain, however. They hold up their other hand, and the knife is now there, having the original having never been real at all. The stranger flicks their wrist, and the knife turns into a sliver of light, which they place against Mortimer's chest as it fades away into his body, and he awakes.
Oh my god.
That was cool shit.
Yeah.
I gotta get with you and ask you to send me a copy of at least mine. The first one, just so I can look back on them and stuff. But yeah, they're very good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would genuinely love to have a copy of that for me as well.
Yeah, I have them digitized, so.
Sweet.
Before we move on, Mortimer, would you like to interact with that dream in any way?
Well, I have a question. So this person who just like stabbed me but didn't stab me, do I know who this is? Like, do I have a pretty familiar idea of like a recognition of who I think this might be?
I'll tell you this. When you see them, because you saw them standing in the crowd far away from you in your last stream, when you see them, their face isn't one, it constantly shifts. They don't really seem to have a specific face.
Okay, but I recognize
assume-
like the body is like similar to the first appearance.
Yes. Well, it's more of a feeling. Like, you can't explain why you know that it's the same person, but you do.
Like a scent almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could we assume that this is the same for everyone's stream?
I just
Yes.
kind of as he stabs me and I feel no pain, I just kind of look at him and I smile with my eyes closed.
Oh, fuck, I love that so much. Side note, that was your level 3 dreams, everyone. You can now level up.
Hell yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
I will need assistance.
Yes, that's
Same.
perfectly fine. But that feels like a good place to stop it for the night. We can
Yes.
continue on, but the gameplay, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, is
I,
Peppy still walking